Felicia from the blog feliciagraves.com, and in this video I am showing you how I make my homemade spaghetti sauce or homemade marinara sauce. Now, one of my absolute favorite things about this recipe is that it holds up so well in the freezer. So if you are looking for a really good freezer spaghetti sauce recipe, this is the one for you. Make sure that you click the link in the box below because it is going to have the recipe for you, and it'll be able for you to print off that recipe with all of the ingredients and measurements and everything that you need right there. The very first thing I've done here is just chopped up half of an onion, and then I am going to use the saute function in the Instant Pot, and I'm going to saute the onion as well as the garlic. And then after that I will go ahead and add the rest of the recipes and do the actual pressure cooking. But first, I really just love the flavor you get when you saute up your onions and garlic. Now, if you do not have an Instant Pot, that is totally okay. You can absolutely make this recipe in your slow cooker. And when you click the link to get the instructions, it has both of the instructions for a Instant Pot as well as for the slow cooker. So whichever way you prefer, those directions are there for you. In my recipe, I only call for 2 cloves of garlic, but you can see here that I'm using 4 because these cloves were so small that I went ahead and put 4 in there. Also, because they were so small, I had to fight with them to get all the skins off, I feel like, but it's worth it because garlic is so good. Now I'm going to start adding all the delicious herbs and seasonings to this, as well as, of course, the tomatoes. For the fresh herbs, I use fresh parsley and fresh basil. If you don't have those fresh herbs or you weren't able to get them, you can absolutely use dried herbs instead, but here I am using the fresh ones. I do use dried oregano though when I am making this, and then of course some red pepper flakes and the crushed tomatoes and a little tomato paste. It is just so good, and my house smells amazing. The great thing about this recipe is that you can use it just as plain spaghetti sauce. You can use it on any kind of your pasta dishes that call for any kind of marinara sauce. And I have even used it for pizza sauce when I'm making my homemade pizza. It is really versatile in that way. And because you can make it in big batches and put it in the freezer, it is so easy to keep it on hand, and just makes it so much better and healthier for you than grabbing a jar from the store. Okay, let's talk about these cans of tomatoes. If you are taking the time to make homemade spaghetti sauce, then you don't want to lose the benefit of not having a lot of the things that you would find in a store-bought sauce. So you still want to be able to control what is going into your sauce. And one of the main things that I want you to look for when you're looking for those canned tomatoes is how much sodium is in there. Oh my goodness, guys. I can get a different brand of these crushed tomatoes that has 290 milligrams of sodium. versus the ones that I got here were, I believe, 80 or 90 milligrams. So that is something you absolutely want to keep an eye on, because you don't want to just be getting all of this sodium, or honestly, if there's any other ingredients that you don't know what they are, don't recognize them, just keep an eye out for that, because you will be surprised what you can find. Now, of course, you can make this with fresh tomatoes as well. That's absolutely an option. I just went for organic crushed tomatoes, and you can get crushed tomatoes that are not organic as well and still be able to control the sodium and any other kind of preservatives that are in there. But just definitely keep an eye out, because if you're going to take the time to make a homemade sauce, then you want to get all of the benefits, and you don't want to unknowingly be ingesting junk, basically. This is my sauce right before I stick it in the Instant Pot. Now, I forgot to show on here, you also need to add water, and the measurements again are going to be on that recipe for you. But I forgot to get that on video for some reason. So don't forget to add the water. It doesn't make your sauce any more runny or anything like that, because so much of that is lost in the steam when you are doing the pressure cooking. Now, if you are choosing to freeze this sauce, you can do it in a gallon zip bag, you can do it in Tupperware, you can freeze in mason jars like this or in other glass containers. Just be very careful when you are freezing with glass and make sure you know how to do that safely. Right here, I have a towel under my mason jars, and that's not just because I'm messy, although I am very messy. But the towel is because I don't want that super hot sauce hitting the glass sitting on top of a cold countertop and possibly causing my jars to crack or shatter. So anytime you are filling up glass containers and they're on a cool countertop and you're filling them up with something that's very hot, just put a little kitchen towel or tea towel underneath it, and that will save you from possibly having glass go absolutely everywhere. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today and watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and please let me know if you decide to try out this recipe. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!